In this video, we'll take a look at the recent buzz around the space economy, fueled by billionaire-funded companies such as SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Virgin Galactic. We'll examine what the space economy looks like now, the space startups leading the way, and how it could take shape in coming years. Will space become the fifth industrial revolution? Historically, only governments could afford to fund space programs and missions, and established companies such as Boeing and Lockheed Martin led the way on aerospace technology. However, more and more entrepreneurs have begun to realize that they can play a role in this area and potentially reap the benefits from a global space economy now worth $366 billion. In 2002, Elon Musk founded SpaceX, using the millions he earned from selling PayPal to eBay, after realizing that he could start a company that could build affordable rockets to help him achieve his vision of building a greenhouse on Mars called Mars Oasis. This was after several failed attempts to buy rockets for a reasonable price from Russia. Currently, the only source of revenue for SpaceX is its launch service, which launches satellites into low Earth orbit and transports cargo to and from the International Space Station, using its Falcon 9 and SpaceX Dragon 2. Think of SpaceX like space's truck driver. In its most recent capital raising, SpaceX was valued at $74 billion. This is likely because there are other future revenue streams on the cards, including Starlink, which aims to make the internet accessible everywhere through the use of satellites. In fact, SpaceX has launched more than 1,000 satellites for Starlink and is now starting a beta service, offering customers in the US, Canada, and the UK access to the internet for $99 a month. Starship is also another project which is intended to become SpaceX's new launch vehicle due to it being able to launch cargo at a far lower price. The reason Starship is expected to bring down the cost of space travel is because it has been designed to be fully reusable, unlike traditional rockets which are discarded. If Starship is successfully developed, this will really accelerate SpaceX's growth by allowing longer duration flights, transportation of crew and space tourists, as well as even potentially allowing hypersonic travel around Earth. Richard Branson made himself very famous and very rich flying people around the globe through his airline Virgin. Now he plans to fly people to space through his space line Virgin Galactic. On listing on the New York Stock Exchange in 2019, Virgin Galactic became the first publicly traded commercial space tourism company. Virgin Galactic is developing a reusable spacecraft. This can take customers on suborbital flights which leave their wallets about US $250,000 lighter. Those trips are expected to last 90 minutes with just a few minutes in low orbit. Notwithstanding the hefty price, 600 people have already signed up, including reportedly Justin Bieber and Leonardo DiCaprio. Virgin Galactic has been promising to fly people into space for over 15 years now. However, after an accident in one of its test flights in 2014 that resulted in the death of a pilot, those plans were further delayed. Virgin Galactic is continuing to test in New Mexico, and many believe the launch is not far off. However, given the delays in its launch, its competitors are now also not very far off. Both Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin and Elon Musk's SpaceX have ambitions to fly passengers into space as well, and it will be interesting to see who wins that space race. There have been a few asteroid mining startups pop up over the last decade, such as Planetary Resources. However, they have failed to gain traction. One of the key challenges is how to actually get to the asteroids and getting the minerals back to Earth cost effectively. Some believe the key to doing this would be to set up a base on the Moon, as flying materials in and out of Earth would be very costly. Enter iSpace. iSpace is a Japanese company developing robotic landers and rovers to undertake moon transportation and exploration missions. iSpace plans to land its Hakuto Reboot, or Hakuto R lander on the Moon as early as 2022. Many other space startups are also in the lunar lander space, with NASA commissioning 3 US companies, SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Dynetics, to develop human landers that will land astronauts on the Moon beginning in 2024 as part of the NASA Artemis program. However, iSpace has indicated that it has a broader mission to develop space infrastructure, with the Moon playing a critical role in this. iSpace's first goal is to mine water on the Moon in order to sustain life outside of Earth, and to use the elements of water for rocket fuel. At the moment, some have reported it costs between $9,000 and $43,000 to send a bottle of water to space. Once water can easily be extracted from the moon, people can then use the moon as a base to spend more time in space and explore for more resources. There is still a lot we don't know about space and what other opportunities it can bring. As space technologies develop rapidly and the exploration of outer space becomes more of a reality and less of a pipe dream, one important consideration is how humans should interact with space. There is a body of law called International Space Law, which refers to 5 international treaties and agreements. The key treaty which underpins international space law is the Treaty on Principles Governing the Activities of States in the Exploration and Use of Outer Space, including the Moon and other celestial bodies, or the UN Outer Space Treaty. It remains to be seen whether these overarching principles will still remain relevant, and if so, whether they are even able to be enforced when outer space is literally out of reach for so many of us. However, for now, let's just enjoy seeing all these exciting space projects come to life.